Hello everyone, it's Cherie. Welcome to my channel. How are you doing? I hope you're all doing well. So today I'm going to be working on some, let's see, they are, how would you call them? Collage fabric pockets. Christmas themed, I guess. And I've made, fabric pockets before, and this is just kind of the way that I like to do them. And I'm not the first one to come up with this. It's been out there for a while, but sometimes it's fun to revisit things you've already done, and maybe it's new for you. You never know. And maybe it'll help inspire you to make some yourself. So basically what I like to do is I like to use a 4x6 index card. I like the size, it works. And I just get out my bits of fabric. A lot of times I just use my scraps, and sometimes I'll make scraps making these pockets. And you can do them different ways. You could do them in little patches, little square patches, or maybe even do like a little design on the pocket with your fabrics. But I typically like to do, well, I'll mix it up, but this time I'm just doing some strips of fabric, and I am just kind of trying to make sure that my pattern goes well together. And I'm doing traditional Christmas this year. I'm not doing anything super fancy as far as color wise goes, and I just like the red and white and green and, traditional Christmas colors. So that's kind of what I'm going for. And I'm just taking bits of fabric and putting them down in an order that I feel, looks well together, that I'm happy with. And like I said, these are just some fabric scraps that I have, and sometimes I'll do like have the strip go all the way across, and other times it will be like a half strip, and then like here I'm kind of filling in the blank spots. But yeah, I really like these little pockets because they are fun to do, and it's a different kind of look. It's not paper necessarily, it's fabric on paper. And it's not your traditional collage with like a collage with paper and a focal point. It's just something different. So yeah, my goal was to make 4, and I did, so I'm happy with that. And I have a nice little variety of different types of fabrics. A lot of them are vintage, a couple are newer, some have texture on them, some have embroidery on them. And I'm just kind of sticking and plunking. And I just put them all down, and then I will trim the excess. So yeah. And then also I like to, which you don't have to, but I like to take a little piece of lace or maybe a crocheted trim, which is what I do with a lot of these, and place it on the top just to give it a little, finishing touch. So yeah, and then I'll also, once I put my fabric down, I will go in and put like little pieces of trim or rickrack or lace, just to kind of add to it. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of going through my little bags of different trims and laces and seeing if anything works. And I'm just using my glue stick because I know that I'm going to stitch. I'm not going to stitch on everyone, but I am going to stitch on a few of them. And then I don't know if I'm going to end up stitching these onto whatever I'm going to put them onto, or if I'm just going to glue them on. But I do know that, I will put some stitches on there, just for some added interest and to help hold it down. So here I'm just kind of showing you like the different kind of things that I like to do. Like I will put some sort of focal point on them sometimes, and so it's just kind of showing you that that's kind of my intention. And I was fiddling around with it, trying to see if there was something maybe that I would want to do. But in the end, I decide to wait till the end and then kind of do it all at one time on each one. So yeah, so that's just like a little applique. I think it's a little vintage iron-on applique, and it's a little wreath, and I like it. But I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna wait. Let me just kind of mass make these, I guess, in a sense. You know, like streamline it. But I do go ahead and kind of give them little finishing touches at the end of the video, once the little pockets are created. So yeah, so I'm just going back to putting my fabrics down. And sometimes I will, you know, cut them really straight, and other times I will just tear them. So it's kind of like a mixture of both. And I do like the intermixing of the looks. I really like the frayed edges though. I just feel like it gives it so much character when the edges are frayed. It's not quite so stiff looking. And then I have some bigger scraps over to the left of me that I'm going to pull from every once in a while. So I'm really getting excited about Christmas, and my son said to me the other day I was playing some Christmas music on Alexa, and he's like, "Mom, why are you listening to Christmas music? It's like summertime." I'm like, "It's not summertime, it's fall, and I'm working on my Christmas books, so I want to listen to Christmas music while I craft." And my kids always tease me every year about how I start Christmas so early with my music and stuff. And I have this, you know, this big Christmas village that I'll put up, and I start working on it early usually. And this year though, I'm not planning on going all out for Christmas. I'm not going to pull out the village. I'm not going to decorate a whole lot because I'm wanting to go to Kansas and to see my daughter. She's having the baby, and I just don't think I'm going to have enough time to do it all. So I'm going to skip this year. Plus it'll be the first year that she's not been home for Christmas, and I'm kind of sad. Well, I am sad about it. I mean, I understand, Bug. I know you've got your own life to live now and your own family, but it still kind of hurts my heart. So yeah, so I'm planning on spending as much time as I can in Kansas in December. So I'll be gone a week at least, if not longer, to be with them and the new grandbaby. So I'm excited about that. So, but yeah, that's the reason why I'm not going to go crazy for Christmas this year. But I am going to go crazy with my Christmas crafts. I'm just going to start early. Yeah, so I'm still sticking and plunking, and I'm using some, I think that was some sari silk. I like the texture and the look of sari on things as well, and the feel of it. And when I made this video, I still had not got my sewing scissors in, but thankfully I got them in now, so I'm so happy that I actually have some sewing scissors. My other ones are still lost, but you know, it is what it is. So that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's just a little piece of crocheted lace that I'm planning on putting on the top, and I just kind of wanted to make sure that it was going to look okay, or if it needed anything else before I started on the next one. So now when I went to put that down, I realized that it needed something behind it because that fabric was quite thin, and I just kind of added an extra white layer. I just put a piece of muslin and, you know, put it on there, wrapped it around, and it was good to go. And I have intentions of using that first strip of fabric there, but I'm going to kind of figure out what I want to go around it before I place it down, I guess. So I'm using some lighter pieces since I went ahead and added the muslin. And that little piece there is one of my favorite pieces of fabric. It's got like these little textured raised dots on it, and I just love the feel of it. And I like how they all look. And sometimes I will, you know, I'll take a little while to glue things down. I'll kind of just place them and see if I like how it looks or if I want to do something different, and then I'll glue it all down. So I'm kind of swapping between methods here, I guess. So I liked that that piece there, but I felt like I wanted to add a little extra color on the bottom, so I just cut me a strip of some green fabric. And of course my fingers always get super sticky when I'm using my glue stick, so I gotta have my baby wipes handy. But yeah, these are they're fun to do, and they're easy, you know. It's not like a process that takes a lot of brain power, I guess. It's just kind of put you some music on and relax and tear your strips or cut your strips and lay them down. So I think that's the third one. And then that top little piece there, the top left, that's that vintage fabric ribbon that I'm not sure what it's called. Sort of vintage fabric ribbon. And then there's a little piece of trim that I was thinking about. So a lot of these pieces are, you know, some of the same that you saw when I was doing my fabric clusters, my mini fabric clusters. Because I still have a lot. Now what am I going to do with the rest of these little scraps? I don't know. I don't know. Because, you know, you have a lot of them and you use them, but then, you know, at some point you kind of get tired of using the same ones, so you want to look at something a little different. So what do you do with the old ones? Pack them away and wait till they become new again? Probably, huh? Maybe if there was like a fabric scrappy swap, you know, you could swap your fabrics with somebody else's scraps. That would be kind of cool and fun to do. So yeah, so I'm just back to putting my strips on there, and I really like that fabric that has the flower on it, that black one. So I'm glad that I got to use that because it's so pretty. And I wanted to use that red. I don't think that it is I think it's just like a regular cotton. I don't think it was like that velvety red that causes me problems. I love the feel of it, but every time I cut it, it just kind of goes everywhere. And like these little balls, puff balls of red just are there. And then I'm also going to throw in some lace just for something different, you know. Put a little piece of lace underneath to kind of have it poking up a little bit to break up that red that there's so much of. And then that's that piece of fabric that I have no idea what it is, with the embroidery all over it. So I thought, I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and I was like, you know what? I know there's no way I'm going to be able to cut a straight line on this fabric, so I just pulled out this little tool thing and used it to help me cut a straight line. And it's got paint all over it because my 9-year-old decided to use it. And yeah, the paint won't come off. So it is what it is, right? So I really like how they look, and I think I'm just about to the point where I'm going to stitch these. I'm going to stitch them first, and then I will do my decorating. So I'm just kind of covering up that little corner there and adding a little piece of trim. So they're fun because you can add all different kinds of little things to them. And then here I was trying to figure out if I wanted to put any of this lace down. And like I said, I've said previously, that little ball of lace there, I use it in so much. I'm going to be so sad when it's gone. So many different projects. It just works with so many different things. So now I'm going to go ahead and stitch, and this is what they look like with just a little bit of random stitches in them, on them. And I just did some zigzags. So they're kind of like little shabby fabric collaged Christmas pockets. It's kind of a mouthful, huh? So then I have this little, I don't know, I think it's like, I really have no idea what it is, but it has these really pretty applique flowers on it, so I just cut one off. And I thought that it would go nice on one of these pockets. I had to cut all around it and cut the leaves off, and I'm just gonna figure out which one I want to put it on. And I think I like it on that one. I like it on the other one too, but I just kind of felt like that flower on the red flower on the other one was just kind of dominating the space. And I didn't want it to compete, I guess you could say, quite so much. So I stuck it on this one. I wish there's a red flower on this one too, but it's not quite so bold. And then I went with the little trim instead of the crocheted trim for the same reason, because that white applique flower does kind of scream at you, you know? Not in a bad way though. It just says, I'm here and I'm pretty, and take a look. So I just went with the little dainty trim. So there's one. And then I have these little crocheted flowers, and I thought they're the perfect color, and I will try to use these as well. These I actually made a couple years ago, and they're a little bit wonky, but I still like them. They're pretty. And I had a pack of brads, and I thought I'll just use a brad and poke a hole with my little pokey tool. And I like how that looks. And then I'll put my little piece of trim on the top, and it looks like a finished pocket. And like I said, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to stitch these on or if I will glue them on to whatever I decide to put them on. And I like that one too. So you guys will have to let me know which one's your favorite. Miss Paulette, thank you so much for always answering my questions. You're so darn sweet. And that there is just a little sled, a little applique sled. And then that's another little crocheted flower. That one is not one that I made, obviously. It's all uniform and perfect. And my little crochet flower is kind of wonky. But I still like them. I love them, really. I still think they're really pretty. And then that sheet there is just like, it's an old October afternoon chipboard Christmas button sheet. It's got like a bunch of little chipboard pieces on it. And there was one that said December 25th, and I decided I would use it for the center of my flower. And I'm just going to go ahead and stitch it down. With some embroidery thread, I think is what I used, but I'm going to poke my holes first. And then I always like to add a piece of tape on the back just to hold in the stitches. Well, I mean, I tie a knot, but still, it's just another peace of mind kind of thing. And then that space there just kind of looked like it needed a little something, so I'm just going to put a little piece of that trim, that lace trim there. And then for the last one, I'm gonna use, what do I use? I think I use that white flower, that other flower, which I think, I don't know if I said this, but they're from, I think that it was a Stampin' Up! Crocheted flower. But I was kind of thinking about using that green trim, but it just wasn't working. And then, oh yeah, I throw in that little leaf that was from that first applique flower as well. But I wanted to give it something to lay on, so I'm just kind of going to make a little, just a little cluster of lace for it to sit on first. And I like how that looks. And I'm just sticking this stuff down with some Fabri-Tac, which I have a love-hate relationship with. I love the glue, but I hate the bottle. So there's that, but I kind of wasn't feeling the crocheted top there. I remembered that I had some white, and I thought, well, let me try my white crocheted trim and see if that works. But I ended up not really liking it either, even though from here it looks okay. But I had this other trim, and I liked it better. So it's just a little something different. Get it on straight, Shuri, get it on straight. That's what I'm always telling myself. Okay, so I think that pretty much wraps it up. I am going to show you the close-ups here. I really appreciate you guys checking out my video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and maybe you get a little inspired to try some of your own. And I hope you're having fun doing all your Christmas crafts. And I really hope y'all have a blessed day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.